the father came up with an idea of let's create our own Jackson 5, right? So the parents tried to encourage the kids by bringing them home instruments, but them Browns were bad as shit. Like even when he's like, when I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, these kids is terrible. These kids is terrible. You got to mace them mothers to back them up off of you, right? Just finished Diana Ross. Oh my God, I'm so exhausted. It was a good ride, but it was long, hard, addicting, and kind of disappointing in small ways. Okay, but we finished it finally. Continuing on, now that we are finished with the Diana Ross book, you know the Richard Pryor book is next. Can't do it. I cannot go from one ride to the next. We always got to take a break to drink a soda or some water before we go to the next ride. So sit back, enjoy the ride, watch this re-upload, and consider watching the entire playlist until we start the Richard Pryor book. It won't be long. Now, let's talk about Bobby Brown's Every Little Step, Part 1. He opens up the book talking about how as early as he could remember, he has always been different. His dreams were not to be an athlete, but to be on stage performing. Like many of our households, he said that his household was always full with music. I think that's a black family thing where you sit around and you just listen to music. In fact, I done got back into listening to that good old school while I cleaned the house. He says that his father would come home, put on music, and act a fool. He entertained the family so much that the kids' stomachs were hurt. He said that the funniest man he knew was not Eddie Murphy or Martin Lawrence. It was his dad, Herbert Brown. He goes on to talk about how his biggest influence was his mother's mother. His grandmother lived in the apartment right below his family, okay? And what he would do is he would escape all the noise from his house and come downstairs to his grandmother's house and listen to music. His grandmother's favorite artist or performer was Duke Ellington. Ooh, that Duke Ellington conch, child. Ooh, my grandmother's favorite, because I was a grandma baby too, was Nat King Cole. Ooh, I think my grandmother was, it was like she was a hot girl for Nat King Cole. When I look back at it, I'm like, Grandma, if Nat King Cole would have knocked on his door, would you would have hunched him? The other people that he would also listen to would be the Shy-Lights, the Manhattans, and Blue Magic. Me too. That's good music. Okay. Something about a man and a falsetto. Gay or straight, it's something about it, girl. He moved into funk, okay? He loved Parliament and James Brown, and of course, Rickety James. You know Rickety James is part of the reason why he act like such a damn fool. He is reminiscing about the times where he would be dancing for his grandmother, and his grandmother would be enjoying his little performance. The way that his grandmother made him feel in regards to how his little choreography and him singing and entertaining, he said he loved that feeling. He said the admiration from his grandmother is what gave him the incentive to jump out there and become a professional performer. Now, he also knows about how his badass brother Tommy, okay, did Tommy end up on drugs? Is Tommy Brown on drugs? Tommy would come downstairs and be jealous that his grandmother or their grandmother was paying so much attention to Bobby the Brown that he would do some dumb shit, knock over something, and tell their grandmother that Bobby did it. But the father came up with an idea of, let's create our own Jackson 5, right? So the parents tried to encourage the kids by bringing them home instruments, but them Browns were bad. It's like, even when he's like, when I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, these kids is terrible. These kids is terrible. You got to mace them motherfuckers to back them up off of you. The parents tried to encourage the kids to, do a singer group. Didn't work. His little sister, Carl, the snitch of the family, I'll expound later, but the snitch of the damn family came in the house and decided that she wanted to tear apart Bobby the Brown's drums. Bobby the Brown said, yeah, they were cheap, but they were mine. A year later, his mother brought Bobby B a bass. He loved the bass because he liked that funk. The problem was that he did not, or his parents did not follow through with lessons. So in 1972, at 3 years old, James Brown was at this club, the Sugar Shack. So he 3 years old and he at a club with his parents. I don't know what to say, Clarence. I don't know what to say. But he at the club with his parents, and James Brown would welcome children on stage to perform also. Now, little Bobby Brown, when he got his opportunity at 3 years old, he turned it out. Okay, he stole the whole stage from James Brown. Now, Bobby Brown say he don't remember it, but that's what his parents told him. I believe it, because it seemed like you've been a piece of work from the very beginning. Like, it takes a lot. It's a special kind of woman that can deal with a nigga like that. Alicia, I give you all props. He goes on to talk about his son Cassius, how when he sees his son, he sees himself. I would absolutely 100%. That Cassius, listen, I think Bobby Brown's going to make sure that Cassius doesn't have the same, concerns in regards to doing dumb shit that he had to do or he did. But whenever I see Cassius on camera, in pictures or anything like that, Cassius is very an outgoing person. He's always kicking, trying to do like Michael Jackson moves, and that's what he said. What he also said that I think is commendable is that he knows that his baby is ready for the stage, and he is going to do everything he possibly can to make sure that his son gets there and not make the same mistakes that he made along the way. So any dance lesson, piano lesson, guitar lesson, also goes on to talk about how Alicia, his now wife, is already, a part of the business or already known in the business. The reason why is because she was the girl that was playing the saxophone in the Rump Shaker video, by Teddy Riley. That was her. And the way things happen are kind of so shady in this book. I know a lot of people didn't seen the movie, but it's things that were left out of the movie. You can't put the whole book into a movie, but it's a lot of shady shit in this book. So hold tight, y'all. We're going to have fun with this. The first performance that he could remember was 9 years old in Orchard Park. Now, his sister's friend, his older sister, her name is Bethy. The friend was hosting a talent show on the weekend. They decided to enter Bobby the Brown into a show. He won, okay? But he didn't understand the response from the crowd because, one, he was like, okay, when I was back home or when I was home in front of my family, I was imitating these other stars. But when I came out on the stage, I didn't even understand that I could sing. When I was belting out the words, that was my voice. I wasn't imitating nobody. I was Bobby the Brown. He was confused at the response. So at 9 years old, he seen his sister Bethy in the wings, so he ran over there and jumped in her lap. They couldn't coax him out. And I know you like, what the hell is a 9-year-old doing in his big sister's lap? Listen, big sisters everywhere. They will always need us. I don't care how old they are. They will always need their big sister. I said it. He says back in his Orchard Park days, he didn't even understand the word project. He didn't even understand that he was living in an area that people would classify as negative. He didn't get that. And that's normally what happens when you are living in the projects or a neighborhood that's a little, trickery going on, you don't see anything wrong with it because you're growing up in it and that's all you know. So what he said was, of course, there were a couple of fights. There was some shenanigans going on, but his project, Orchard Park, was a beautiful place to him. It was like everything was clean. It didn't look like Cabrini Green. He said he couldn't recall a day that he was afraid in Orchard Park because he had a whole bunch of sisters or older siblings who ain't play that mess. Okay? He said his sisters was beasts. Okay? Now, if your sisters was beasts the way that my cousin was beast, I get it. And I ain't even talking about just fighting. We talking about well-rounded beasts. Okay? The beast and his sisters was what he considered to be a beast. I mean, look good, maybe, sell a fish dinner here or there, wink, wink, okay? Maybe, some potted donuts, maybe, here and there, dressed real nice, fine. He goes on to talk about how his mother was like the Mother Teresa of Orchard Park. He said his mother damn near fed the entire project. I can believe that. It's now the 80s and a new music genre is upon us. He says the first rap song he ever heard was Blondie's Rapture. The first rap song that I ever heard was Rapper's Delight. Okay, that was in we was still down Southwest then. Hip hop, hippie to the hippie. He fully embraced the genre, and his idol was Grandmaster Flash himself. In fact, he loved Grandmaster Flash so much that he even got a belt that said Flash B. I remember that belt. I was like, Flash B, okay, Bobby. Okay, I get it, but now we know the reason as to why he was running around here with Flash B on his belt. Said the kids in the 1970s and the 80s grew up real fast in Orchard Park. It was not uncommon for you to see an 11 or 12-year-old out at night way past dark. Even while we are going through the crack epidemic, it's still, the kids are trained to go in the hood. They think differently. They hear pop, 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 they ready to go in the house. It's just a different type of zhuzh in the hood. And if you're not from it, you're not going to understand it. He said that those kids were always 10 seconds away from trouble. So what he ended up doing was utilizing every weekend at that talent show to keep him out of trouble for that day. So he had an alternative. Them other kids, they just hanging out. He said, I want to sing and dance for a living, so I'm going to run around here to the talent show or perform for the peoples every weekend. Bobby Brown said that because he wasn't comfortable with his voice, he didn't feel that he had a strong voice. And to this day, I don't know how to call Bobby the Brown. It's like, it's not a romantic, ooh la la voice. It's like a grimy, strong, powerful voice, but it's not like one of those, like it's hard to describe. But anyway, because he wasn't comfortable with his voice at the time, okay, he said he honed in on his dance skills, pop locking. Well, actually, he explained during the 80s that when crews had beef with each other, how they would resolve it is dancing. I'm telling you now, okay? Maybe when you go downtown, it may be some things going on where they dancing, but, they didn't resolve problems with, pop locking and all this other stuff in D.C. in the 80s. Them niggas was bowing. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe that's how they did things up north. I don't know. Or downtown, Northwest D.C. I don't know. But them niggas got a problem. They ain't dancing it out. That's not going to happen. But, shouts to La Vista to all you, dancers and pop lockers and stuff like that. So one day while he was visiting his grandmother in Alabama, okay, because that's what they used to do, send the kids down south for the summer. I don't know if y'all still do that. You parents, let me know if you still send your kids away. Well, I know you ain't doing shit with the corona, right? But did you send your children, or do you still send your children down south? He's down south with his grandmother in Alabama, and one day he saw a dude on the Soul Train doing the moonwalk. He practiced that shit till he got it. And he took it back home to Orchard Park with him. He said once he learned how to do that, the dance crew that he was a part of, he wasn't taking no L's. He said he remembered the first time he showed it to his friend Ralph. He said that he will never forget the words that Ralph said. Damn, did you see what Bobby did? Because nobody else could do the moonwalk as good as he did, or if they could do it, because he'd been practicing all summer. So when he got back to the Boston, he was ready for them niggas. Now, returning home from Alabama was something different. Okay, this is funny to me. Okay, so they would catch the bus home, but they would stop off in New York, the Port Authority of New York. Okay, and what they would do is go around there to the port while they waited to get back on the bus, because the bus gives you a break. You don't want to sit there for 27 hours riding a goddamn Greyhound and not scratching your legs. So they gave you a minute. So what would happen at the Port Authority was, as soon as the bus would stop, his sister, which one was his sister that was the hot pussy? Which one was it? Leola would change into her dancing Donna Summer outfit and walk around like she was too good for everybody. Bobby the Brown, I don't think you know what was happening, baby. I don't think you understood what was going on. It sounded like your sister Leola was selling fish dinners around there to the Port Authority. Now, I don't know you. I don't mean no disrespect towards Bobby, Leola, none of the Browns. I don't need that Brown business, okay? Not even the kids. I don't want none of that bullshit. Because like I said, it look like y'all might have to mace one of y'all mother, or all y'all, okay? Because when y'all come in a pack. But I'm just telling you that it sounded like Leola was selling pussy out there at the Port Authority to me. What he also said was that whenever he had opportunities, he would break dance, put his hat out, because sometimes people would give you money to perform. And so what Bobby the Brown said, that before he got on the bus, what he would do is steal something, okay? Whether it be a t-shirt or a stack of hats, something. He had to steal something, okay? So when he got back home, it was never okay, you got away with stealing something, because his baby sister, Carl, would snitch on him, okay? I told you that damn Carl was the family snitch. It's always a family snitch. Always. Bobby the Brown said that Carl was always with him. She loved being up his ass. In fact, Carl was a part of his little group that he formed. I think he called it Bobby's Angels. It was Carl and two other girls, and it was Bobby, okay? And it was called Bobby's Angels, right? But he said back then it was so many groups that performed, but unfortunately, nothing really came out of it, except for New Edition and Donna Summer. Now, Donna Summer didn't come from Orchard Park. She came from, I think he said, Roxbury, but the next hood or the next city over. So anyway, he said that while he was on tour with New Edition, okay, in around 1984, something like that, right? He met Donna Summer. Hey, Donna, my name is Bobby the Brown. We might be kin to each other. Your family member married my family member. He said that Donna Summer was very gracious and not mean to him, and just said, oh, really? Now, he's reflecting on his parents' marriage now, okay? But he's saying that although his dad was a really funny guy, he was very flinchy, okay? And his mama took great enjoyment out of fucking with him. not already done so, please remember to like, share, and subscribe because it is so important to my success here on the YouTube. Now, remember this. The same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. Naysayers, my patron loves you, babies. Better have a good one.